And I'm normal. I swear, I'm normal. Minus the peanut butter on my shoulder from my child's dirty face. I'm normal. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to discuss the horror finalist in the TBR tournament that I totally made up. This is exciting. So last week I gave you 4 horror books, 2 pairs, and I asked you to choose a winner from each pair, and you guys came through for me. You chose The Hunger over Fantastic Land and The Art of Dying over The Last Days of Jack Sparks. Today we're here to take it a step further and decide between these 2 books which will be the winner in the horror genre for this tournament. Voting is already going on for the nonfiction category and the mystery thriller category, so make sure that you get your say in both of those as well. And I will be back tomorrow to do this with romance. So in each of these videos, instead of telling you about the books again, which I've already done in the semifinals, I'm instead going to tell you what it is about the books that I am most interested in, why I want to read them, maybe go into a little bit of my own history with the book, and maybe that will contribute to your decision or your choice. Maybe it won't. Maybe you're only interested in these books because they're what you would choose to read. Either way, here we go. So the first is The Hunger by Alma Katsu. This has been on my TBR for quite a while. There's something that has drawn this book to me ever since I heard of it, which would have been back in 2017, I believe. The book itself came out in 2018, so could be, I think, I mean, I remember pre-ordering it actually, so I know that I did hear about it before it was released, but 2017 is when I was getting really into booktube and hearing a lot about a lot of different books that had never made it to my radar before, so that's just what I'm going off of. What initially attracted me to this book was the mystery surrounding the story that it's based upon. So I mentioned this, I think, in the semifinals video, but this book is based on actual events, but it's an alternative take on those events. So when we were pioneering the Western United States, there was a group of pioneers named, or that we've come to know as the Donner Party. And the Donner Party set out in what is present-day Missouri to travel to present-day California. They encountered things that were fairly common amongst pioneers back then, things that made travel difficult, and they ended up kind of stuck in the Sierra Nevada mountain range in the winter. They were snowed in and resorted to cannibalism. I guess for me, the Donner Party the story about the Donner Party is super intriguing because, number one, I don't know a ton about it. It's infamous, yes, but it's not something that every kid learns about in school. It's kind of like when you're learning about the West and when you're learning about pioneers, it's one of those things. It's like, oh, you know, and the Donner Party. It's kind of whispered about or mentioned as an aside. It's not necessarily an integral part of American history. So I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued by what I know, and I want to know more. And maybe an alternative history isn't the place to start with that, but I like the idea of taking something that's horrifying to begin with and turning it into something else. I think that if a lot of alternative history books weren't historical, stay with me, I would read a lot more of them. I like when our understanding is challenged. I like when what we think we know about something is challenged. I like a paradigm shift in a book, big time. And so when you write a book around a paradigm shift that says, hey, you think this is what happened, but in actuality, this is what happened, that's awesome to me. I really enjoy that. And as a side note, I just want you guys to know that it has taken me 40 years to realize that the term I am looking for is paradigm shift. If you go back and watch some of my videos, you'll hear me describing how one of my favorite elements in a book is to have someone's perception or assumptions totally, yeah, I'm not smart. And at the same time, if one of you could have said to me, hey, I think what you're describing is a paradigm shift, I'd have been like, oh, thanks. I don't specifically remember the hype around this book much, but I sort of remember the feelings that the hype gave me. If that makes any sense? Which is that this would be a really impressively scary and disturbing horror novel, which I'm there for. And it's weird to be talking about why I really, really want to read these books, because I know that there are a lot of people out there who may not understand why someone would really, really, really want to read horror. I've talked ad nauseum about why I read the books that I read, including horror. I like to be scared in a safe way. I like to be disgusted in a safe way. I like to have the filter between me and the awful thing, which a book is great for. I don't like gore in films and stuff, but I could read about gore all day. So, I mean, this is a safe place. Books are a safe place for me to experience things that I definitely do not want to experience in real life. So, The Hunger definitely falls into that category, as does The Art of Dying. Now, this, I'm really surprised. I mean, I think it sounds great, but I'm really surprised at the number of folks that have got on board to read this book. Number one, I mean, this is a self-published novel, and I don't think I mentioned that up to this point, but what that tells me is that there may or may not be a lot of information out there about this book. It's not like The Chestnut Man. Everybody talked about The Chestnut Man. Everybody's, heard of it. It was featured as a book of the month. Whereas The Art of Dying is kind of like I'm just surprised. I guess I would, especially going up against something like The Last Days of Jack Sparks, which is a pretty well-known horror novel. Unless I'm way off base here and people have been talking about this more than I've seen, I'm just really surprised that this won. I'm not mad. I'm just really, it didn't go the way that I expected or assumed that it would go. So The Art of Dying is a self-published novel. I purchased this book when I was on a mission to buy horror. There's a little bit of back and forth about this book. Some descriptions of it make it sound like a crime thriller, but it has won awards and stuff for horror. So, I mean, I made the executive decision to include it as horror. I'm almost wondering, as a self-pub novel, if the crime thriller aspects are added to make it a little bit more marketable. There's nothing wrong with that. That would be completely understandable in my mind. What attracted me to this book was, again, it just sounded promising for being totally gruesome and graphic and extreme. Where I think that The Hunger will bring fear and kind of suspense and gore, I think The Art of Dying is going to bring brutality and gratuitous graphic content. And I mean, I don't want to sit here and go, yay, I'm so excited for that kind of stuff. Sometimes I get in a mood where that's what I want to read. For those of you who have sometimes said to yourself, I just need a good cry. You watch something that you know is going to make you sad. Well, why? Well, you just need a good cry. Sometimes I read something that I know is going to upset me or make me uneasy or maybe be difficult to take, and it all goes back to just catharsis and getting those emotions out and experiencing something new. Sometimes it's compared to The Silence of the Lambs and The Departed, so that's where I'm getting the brutality. Like, if you saw the movie The Departed, that was brutality. That was brutal. There is no other, it was just brutal violence. And so I think that this book is going to bring that. Meanwhile, I'm going to be scared because of this. I don't know. I don't know what would be. I'm not sure. This is unexpected. I think that I know, what to expect with this, and I think that I'll love it, and I think it'll be an interesting, fun experience for me. This is more of a challenge. This is more unexpected. This could go one way or the other for me, but for some reason it's an experience that I definitely want to tick off my list. So let me know down in the comment section below which book is going to be the winner in the horror genre for this TBR tournament. And also, while you're down there, tell me why you're making the choice that you're making. What is it about either of these books that you really want me to experience, or you really want me to talk about, so that when I read them, I can make sure to keep your interests about it in mind, if that makes any sense. And don't forget to head on over and weigh in on the nonfiction and mystery thriller. We still have one more category to go, so thank you for watching. I will see you all very soon.